Hey, 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 welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel and happy new year to you. I hope that everyone has set their intention. I always talk about setting the intention on this channel because on this channel, I do look at everything, but we take time to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes. In fact, today's title is that it's how your person's spiritual blocks are triggering you and how they're playing out as karmic themes within your experience. There's many different realities that play out at one time. Your level of consciousness depends on your core beliefs. The core beliefs depend on the experiences that you lived. And so we all form habits and behaviorisms that are in alignment with those perceptions. But the problem is that habits and behaviorisms are habitual. They become automatic. So we can get out of that experience, and we do get out of that experience, right? A lot of we grow up, we move out of our parents' house, and we find ourselves in our first relationship, or we find ourselves alone and just dating a few different people, and then we find ourselves in a relationship. But what we see is that the karmic theme continues to play out. We're still feeling like either inadequate, not good enough, not having enough. We're not emotionally getting what we need. If anything, we're attracting a person that's, displaying uh, not traits that display love. Definitely not. If anything, they'll ignore, they want to trigger, they want to upset. And because hurt people hurt people. So I really like to look at the spiritual blocks because you may like this person today, and you may, guess what? You may even get to be with that person. And I can guarantee you won't like that person over time because what you like today is not what you like tomorrow, especially if the person is spiritually blocked and you are continually on your journey healing. And healing doesn't all the time mean sitting down doing shadow work. Sometimes it means living, being pushed and catapulted into new experiences that force you to be different, right? So it changes us. Now, an experience, you may say, like, what experience? Well, when a woman has a baby. Hey, if the relationship was really codependent, what you'll see is when a woman has a baby, a lot of times they give the baby so much and that they realize that they begin to give themselves more. So then that person that they're with usually doesn't get as much. And so there's a sense of how the relationship started, it's not consistent. And so, like I said, that's an example of one person evolving due to a life experience. There's many experiences that catapult us into a new vibration. And it's not all the time, again, doing shadow work. We happen to see the results manifest within our lives. So again, you are the creator of your life. So you can say, no, I'm with a person and they're just an asshole and they're never going to treat me well. There's something wrong with them. Well, they may never step it up to your true vibration of who you are today, to their best self, right? They might not do that. However, you would still impact them, you being in their life. If you're a real soulmate, they would still learn something from you. You would still learn something from them. That's what karmic relationships are. You have free will. The universe doesn't care whether you're with that karmic person or not. It's like it's up to you. You have free will. That's why when we go into karmic relationships and we receive that negative karma and we're like, well, why didn't the universe protect me? Because the universe can't get in the way of your learning. It's, again, learning could just be learning to love yourself. If someone treats you like crap, you say, hey, listen, why isn't that person treating me better? That's an inkling that maybe you need to look and see how you're treating yourself. So again, I will not just tell you what's going to go on within the connection. We go deep, but then I also will tell you how to integrate the spiritual lesson because I pride myself on being a healer. I'm not just going to say, oh, yeah, this is just not going to work out. No, I can tell you how to avoid the situation if I'm a good advisor. Because again, that would be a perception. It's just one that you might not be aware of. So let's kick it in. I always like to give a little explanation of the channel for those people that are new, and also to remind you guys that whatever your life looks like today, you may not like what it looks like. You may not like the connection that you're in or how you're being treated. But when you learn, it's like you really do evolve. And so you wind up attracting much better people that are in alignment with who you are today, what you want today, not the wounds of your past. Thing is, if you're still attracting people that resonate with the pain and the trauma of your childhood wounds, well, then there's inner child healing that needs to be done. It's like, otherwise, you're going to see those karmic uh, themes play out. But you will also, by the way, I'm going to take these because they just kind of happen to fall out. And so there's two, and one's jealousy and one's intolerance. I never believe in any mistakes. So even if it's half-assed, that the shuffle was half-assed, it's like, well, Spirit says there's no wrong. In the spiritual realm, there is no wrong. There's just different perceptions. So again, I feel like you got to a place in your relationship where you're so immature, because I know that you have feelings for me, but you're always trying to make me jealous. And this person was always trying to make you jealous. They were always trying to pull you into triangulation. I think that's how they call it. It's like, they're talking to you and pretending that they want this connection to move forward, but then they're going to talk to somebody else on the DL and really give more time to that person that they don't care about, and someone that's on a lower vibration than you, knowing who they are, and then dropping your name a few times. Why? Because it's going to make that person that's on a lower vibration become paranoid, make them jealous, and get triggered and come and try and figure out who you are. So I feel like you were in connection with someone that wanted you to chase them, that needed for you to show them how you feel. And you're someone that's like, I don't show nothing. It's like you have to earn that. You've gotten to a place within your life almost like too hard, Spirit saying. That's why it's like, because there is a soul connection here, but it's like this person's going to trigger you to be like this. And I feel like you're in separation right now from a person that's actually afraid of you, afraid to contact you, because you're going to be real direct. You're going to say what you're going to say. You're not going to mince your words. That you are confident. This person didn't know who they were playing with. It's like, that's really at this stage of the game, because you're like, you know what? You thought I was going to chase you. It went the other way. It went the other way. It's like, I'm intolerant to your BS. I don't know who you think that you are. There's this energy of almost where that person didn't expect their little game to turn into an inferno. And it turned into an inferno mainly because of them. And it's like they burnt their bridge. And they burnt their bridge because they should have apologized. They should have been transparent with you. They should have told you their feelings. They should have, they didn't want to do any of that. They liked the fact of knowing how much you like them. And so there was I feel like, and you just got to the point where you're like, I'm over it. I'm over it. And for a while, I'm not going to lie, I feel like you were a little obsessed about it. But now guess what? The tables have turned, because you're like, I don't give a shit anymore, because you got to the place where you were thinking about it. And then it brought you to a place of pain. And because it's like, you didn't give me anything. You didn't give me any time. You didn't give me any energy, where I watched you give other people. Yes, because they were trying to trigger you. And it's like, and so the thing is, you got triggered, but you didn't react the way that this person thought you were going to react. So if anything, it brought you back to a place of trauma, where you can a lot of times not know how you come across. You think that you're being nice, but direct, and but you're dealing with someone that's fragile. See, just because a soulmate, that it doesn't mean you think alike. Remember, your spirit brings people into your life to teach you, to show you where you're blocked with inside of yourself. So if anything, you felt like when you met this person, they were disassociated, and they were. And they were, because I feel like they were talking to a lot of people. They were playing games. I'm not going to lie. And they wouldn't lie either. They were like, yeah, I was playing games. So it's like I didn't really have feelings for anyone. It's like, yeah, I knew what I was doing, but I don't really remember a lot of what I was doing, because I was like acting from my addictions. I was acting from like that dopamine rush. I was acting from that passion, but there was no logic behind it. It was very short lived, here for a good time, not a long time. This is how this person was used to navigating. I feel like when they dealt with you, they felt like you were very naive, and that it's again that they knew that you thought that they were only talking to you, that you really cared. And then you finally caught on. You did catch on, and then this person just denied it. But they were still coming back around and talking to you. So there was like, you paid attention to what they were doing, but you didn't pay attention to what they were doing. Like, you didn't really care that they were coming in and out of your life a little bit. And I feel like that's because of your past relationships. So there might have been past relationships where you had trust issues. And trust issues that can start in childhood, again, where the first person that we're supposed to be able to trust is our mother and our father. So again, they're just people, that grew up in family karma, ancestral karma, collective karma, also had their habits and behaviorisms. And most of them did not know how to deal with their stress. They didn't know about healing. So how did they deal? They drank, they smoked, they suppressed their emotions. And we know whatever we need to suppress our emotions becomes very out of balance over time. And so again, that's how a person can stay in a place of disassociation. But I feel like you had that, but I'm also feeling like this person has that. So they were this person when you met them, and it triggered all these emotions from your childhood, where again, you were disassociated, probably dealing with a parent that had this type of energy, which is, I have this connection to you where I know I'm supposed to love you with unconditionally. Children know this right off the bat because they look at other kids and they watch what's going on TV and what people tell them. And so I should love you and I should trust you, but I don't trust you. And then here's this energy too with this person, which is you're a connection. I should trust you. You want me to trust you, but I don't trust you. So you always had that energy like going into the connection, almost like, prove to me who you are. And it's almost like you manifested this person. And so the irony, it's not that they don't want to heal. It's the irony is that we get the people and situations that come into our life because the person's ready to heal. Does that mean they know how to heal? No. So I feel like, again, like your way was to be like, get triggered, and then it was like wall up, prove yourself. And again, because this person made you feel like out of place, like almost like inadequate. And I feel like they were trying to come across as superior, but it made you feel like a sense of not belonging. And spirit says, no one should be able to make you feel like you don't belong. That was a wound that you had growing up with the parents, or again, family that weren't really supportive, didn't give you emotionally what you need. So that experience created an imprint, which is why you're attracting this person into your life. And what we saw with this person was, they wanted to sit there, they wanted to play games. They wanted you to chase after them. They wanted you to give them energy. And they actually thought that at one time that you were going to do it. This is the irony. And really, all they did was they triggered your abandonment issues. You're like, you come in and out of my life. It's like you play games. It's like sometimes you come in and like you'll be back in a week. Sometimes it's 2 weeks. Sometimes it's 5 weeks. Sometimes it's 3 months. And then what you noticed was that this person tried a lot of different things to get you to give them more energy. You didn't notice this when you were like, again, actually in the connection with them, because again, this is how detachment plays out. This is when you say, I don't know why I didn't see that. And spirit says, because you detached, you don't know. It's like you're there but you're not. And it's because, again, and you're not because of this trauma. So I'm going to recreate it because of the imprint, and it's playing out within this experience where you're like, sometimes you're going to come in for like 3 weeks, and sometimes it's 5 weeks, and sometimes you give me more energy, sometimes you're nicer, sometimes you're not nice. And this person was trying all different strategies, really, to try to get you to give them energy. It's like this person had an ego, and I think unconsciously they do a lot of things, consciously and unconsciously, I should say, to create that facade of the mask. I want you to perceive I'm this person. So I need you to chase me. See, I have a lot of other people that are chasing me. But the problem is that those people, they're like lower hanging fruit. They're like people that they don't love themselves, so they don't invest in themselves. So they're people that, just go from one relationship into another relationship, and all the relationships become toxic over time. And it's because they're empty and they're looking for someone to fulfill them. So this person judged you. And I feel like they judged you by things that you have, by the perceptions of how nice you were. Remember, people that tend to have a lot of money come across as snooty, but it's not true. My husband actually had a lot of money, and he was never that way ever. You would never even know he had money, because it was like he bought mostly everything at thrift stores. I'm not lying to you. And it's not that he was a cheap man. He just was smart with his money. It was like it was better made. It's this, it's that. He knew. It's like where this person doesn't know. They can't walk into like a thrift store, any type of store, and say, you know what, I'm going to buy this, and this is a whatever the name brand is, and how much it goes, and why it's good, and why they're getting a good deal on it. Like they don't care about any of that. It's more or less like, no, I'm going to buy the real thing, and then I'm going to flaunt it in front of your face, and I'm not really going to know how to use it though. Or I don't really like whatever I bought, but it's the newest thing. So I hide behind material things to give you the facade of who I want you to perceive that I am, so that you desire me. Because, hey, all those other people that are lower hanging fruit, they want a piece of this. Well, a person that lives in a shoebox, or in their shopping cart, they're not gonna mind that you give them breadcrumbs. What are they doing for themselves? This person never dealt with a person that cared about themselves. So they thought if they ignored you, which is how you felt like you weren't heard, like you weren't listened, like you weren't a person. You weren't a person, like you were less than. This person was trying to make you feel less than. So almost as if you grew up in an environment with someone that belittled you, someone that made you feel bad. And this could even be a close friend that was like more like a frenemy, someone that was close, that you should have been able to form that intimate connection. And intimate is, I'm telling you the deepest things in my soul. And I'm being as transparent with you. And I need you to be vulnerable for me. I need to be vulnerable with you. Oh, guess what? Betrayal. Betrayal happens because it starts like this. When a person disrespects And they're disrespecting because, hey, this is what they're used to. It's not because of who you are. You have showed this person a different way. It doesn't mean that they like it, but understand it's a little bit like a cold water being thrown in the person's face, because it's also the image, my image of who I need to perceive. And if you're showing me something different and you're challenging my reality, well, let me tell you, my friends, there's nothing worse than when you challenge someone's reality. You're going to see an animal. You're going to see someone that gets angry. You're going to get to see somebody that, because it's their life, it's who they perceive that they are. It's the ego. How dare you? When really you're like, no, this is who I am. I see what you're giving me. You're not giving me anything. You're ignoring me. You want me to chase you. You talk to other people. You give me mixed messages. I don't even know what type of connection this is, except for a karmic one that, but why would God, the universe, bring someone like this into my life? And Spirit says, for all those reasons that we said earlier, where it's like, I feel like this person doesn't take the time to really get to know you. They assume a lot about you through their perceptions. So there's someone that tends to strategize. They're very logical and analytical, so that they this is who that they are. They think that they know, and a lot of times they're right through their perceptions. But this is a spiritual connection. You can't logic this. I had a tickle in my throat. So, we have to go deeper. We have to go deeper. Because it's like, this person is not, this is what happens. When a person refuses to take the time to be vulnerable, to create the intimacy that the connection needs, which is all about the trust. I can be vulnerable without you making fun of me. I can be transparent without you shutting me down. This is all what this person was trying to do, to be able to set their relationships, because this is what they do. They don't want to give anything. This is a person that has a very closed heart. So you may say, like, Spirit brought me a person that has a closed heart. It's like, I didn't have a closed heart. And Spirit may say, it doesn't matter if it's a lot or a little. It's still considered fear, because there's only two energies, love and fear. And you might have a problem with forgiveness. And so again, you're going to pull a person to you that has this type of energy. Someone that was mirroring this type of energy when you grew up, where you're like, again, like now, why are you putting me in this situation? Spirit will always say, oh, well, you're going to get this situation a lot of times, just so that you know. And you're like, I didn't like it the first time around. Why would you give it to me a second time and a third time? Spirit says, you're supposed to be able to see yourself go through that situation differently, handle it differently, see yourself, so that eventually there's no emotional trigger. You don't care. There is no bully. There is no person that can belittle you. If they do, you shut it down. It's the way that you handle it is what Spirit's saying. It's like, this becomes a karmic connection when you engage. This person doesn't want to take the time to get to know you. They just rather assume a lot of things about you based on other people. And I feel like the trust is gone because of it. And now you just assume certain things about this person. Like, you're like, well, I can't even trust you. But so you could actually become like, I was going to say, like, somebody that's really like a devout person, like, but that doesn't mean anything these days. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, but someone that, let's just say, is like a monk that lives on top of a mountain, that all they do is pray and to like the universe, and they only do those good deeds, and that's why they never go out in society, because after a while, like, you'd have to be a normal person. So, it's this unrealistic person. Like, this person is not, gonna all of a sudden be that. They have to learn. And and anybody that went through that situation that they went through would, they it wouldn't matter. They would still need to see the situation from a different perception, and that's only going to be when they embody that new consciousness. You can't make a person change, but when you stand up for yourself, you set boundaries, you make the person think about you. A lot of times what you see, the person wasn't even thinking about you, because hey, you were just right there being friendly, being nice, saying eventually they'll get it, because hey, that's what I would do. And spirit says, but they're not you. Understand that. This person that knows that you're like their soulmate. They feel like you're like, they feel very connected to you. I take this as this person might not be like, oh, you're my true love and my heart and my soul, but they feel like you feel like home. Like they know that it's a soulmate type of connection. And so part of that is like almost like you love me today, but will you love me tomorrow? Let me try and keep doing something to you to make you get triggered. Eventually, you won't like me anymore. And so they're not doing that consciously, but this person knows. And so when a person grows up, again, with their trauma that they don't heal, and it's based on being brought up by a parent that you couldn't trust, again, because this is what we're seeing mirrored energy. Like this person acts this way towards you, they project that onto you, but they project that because that's the experience that they actually lived in. And so when a person goes through an experience where they're victimized, and when they're again worn down to their self-esteem, and they can't be vulnerable and they can't express those things, well, they're not going to be able to just automatically like let you into their heart or really believe that you want to be there, because this person was trained from a very young age that they weren't lovable, so they tend to get in their own way. And I feel like you also were brought up with the same types of issues. So when we're talking about abandonment issues, we're talking psychologically and emotionally more than even physically, because this person just doesn't emotionally give anything. And so that's the recurring like karmic feeling, because there's the theme that you live, and then there's that feeling that goes along with it. And spirit says, oh, all that feeling, by the way, is that's trapped in your etheric layer of your aura. Just so you know, it doesn't go away. It becomes part of your second chakra, which is, the ego. You got to find balance, though. You have to integrate that. It's like, because that's not who you are. That's a perception of an experience that you lived, but that's not who you are. But when you're being brought up by people that emotionally and psychologically abandon you, and that continues to happen, you perceive that it's you, when it's spirit says it's something, it's how you feel. It's that's the wound, but you have to integrate that. It means that there is healing that needs to be done, because that's not your identity. It's like you can't just get rid of the negative energy. You have to transmute it, and you do that by integrating it and then actually doing something with the energy to create purpose. I'm awakening. I know more than I'm letting on. I feel like this person always knows more than they're letting on. There's someone that doesn't say anything. They try to get you to say things, but this person is like awakening to like more about like what real relationship is. I feel like this person has dated a lot of people on a lower vibration, and they always get bored. And the fact that they're like, I don't know whether it's the challenge that you keep it like the challenge because you don't make it easy, or, they just know that they've tried to shut off their feelings for you and that they can't shut off their feelings for you. So that's, again, when a person is detached, they can detach emotionally. So this person's use can sometimes not feel like they're connected, but they actually are always connected. And if person's always thinking about you, you're not going to feel any differently, because you'd have to feel them going. So it's almost like this person in their mind, I feel like they actually act as if you guys are already together, even though you're not together. And that's the thing with detachment. The person then begins to like almost live in daydream land. And like, but this is how they manifest, can manifest you back. So if you're like, why do I keep feeling this person? Why do I feel like I feel this person? Well, it's because this person has a lot internally going on that you're not seeing, where it might be like, this person doesn't really care about anything. Well, this person says, because of you, I'm starting to see what is really important in my life. And it's maybe not because you're telling them, listen, this is what needs to be important. You don't do that. You actually detached yourself from this person. That's how this reading started, because you were like, I'm intolerant to your bullshit, to your like trying to get me to chase you, when meanwhile you have feelings for me. It's like you get a kick out of it, where it's like that's your insecurity, that you need me to do that for you, where it's like, so you put the energy into yourself. And what they see is that you're very self-sufficient on your own. It's like you don't need a relationship. The problem is this person gets the relationship exactly the way that they want, and then they hate the relationship. It's like all of a sudden the person is not attractive anymore, because there was no glue. They didn't take the time to get to know the person. It was, again, what they wanted. They came in, they made the relationship everything that person, did for them. Trust me, everything that person asked, they did it. It's no matter who they dated. And then every single relationship winds up toxic. It's like, because every single relationship, the people that are with this person abandon themselves. And then they fuck up this person's life. So they don't like relationships because of that. It always creates drama. And so, in a way, this is what this person expects. This is what they're comfortable with, even though that shouldn't be comfortable. However, you're not comfortable with it. You're intolerant to it. And you live by a certain standard. And what they're seeing is your life, if it's getting better, their life isn't. You're showing them by not saying a damn word. You're like, I don't care if you like destroy yourself. It's like, at this point, it's like, because I'm not playing this game. I love myself too much. And that it's like, that was a power move that this person did not expect, darling. Did not expect. Like, I mean, you left so fast it made this person's head spin off their shoulders. Like where they're like, what you talking about? Where they never saw it, thought they were too big to fail. That's that cocky energy. I watch you on social media and the internet. It's my way of staying close and finding out more about you. This is a way they can fantasize more about what life would be like with you. And this, again, that's the detachment, where you're like, okay, why is this person more comfortable in a relationship where it's detached or full of drama than what it could be with us? And it's like, because you're the difference in the equation. And it's because loss of control, fear, loss of control. I don't believe I'm deserving of it. Abandonment. You'll wind up not liking me. It's like, it's easier for me to think that I messed up the situation, or you left because of me, not because like you don't like me, but because I'm a jerk. It's like, it's easier than, oh, you're a loser. Like your life isn't really that good. So again, this person's fragmented. That's how they see themselves. However, it's awakening your wounds, how this person is viewing themselves, because they can't give you what you need emotionally. However, they have feelings. So when a person is stuck like this for a long time, the universe will eventually like do things to shake things up a bit. Because it's like, sometimes it's like, oh, this person's like, they've been in a karmic cycle for like 10 years. It's like a washing machine that just never ends. It just, It's constantly in the spin cycle. It never stops, where the universe is like, okay, enough. It's like, let's redirect. Let's bring someone new in. Let's create a new experience. Maybe this person will see things from a different perception. It's like, we have to try something else. So this person is awakening, but it's like they're not comfortable in saying, "Hey, listen, I'm feeling a lot of things spiritually." They would never say that ever. You show up in my dreams. It helps me process buried memories, so past life karmic relationships. Like, there's a purpose for why, and that's what this person knows too. They may not know again what those messages are supposed to do. However, what they do know is when they let themselves go deeper into thought, they can feel their heart opening. And what I told you, this person has a closed heart chakra. And so, again, you don't trust this person. So now you have a closed heart chakra. But you want to have an open heart. So, and you wouldn't be able to open up your heart anyway until this person surrendered their ego and was a lot different and proved themselves. So they have a long way to go. So just because, again, they feel this doesn't mean that they're comfortable with it. Doesn't mean that they want to be surrendered to it. Our inner guidance is clear, but our ego is resisting it. And that's what I told you. And that's what I felt. It's like this person is like, it's like the higher self is the God part of self, which is all about unconditional love, which is like, I know, like, you mean something to me. I know, like, I didn't play this right. I know that you're someone important to me, but I can't show it to you. But I need for you to show it to me, which is like, it's almost like, it reminds me of like when you were in grammar school. Hey, Billy Joel, Anna Marie really likes you, but she doesn't want you to know that she likes you unless you like her. Well, if you like her, then it's okay. Then she's gonna know like, then it's okay that you know that she likes you. But it's not okay if you don't say that. You have to make the person feel safe. And it shows, again, the reason why is because this person never felt safe emotionally with their family, and either did you. So it's, again, you're both triggering each other. You're both the mirrors. So this could easily be a twin flame connection, but this person is like, they're like, no. Like, they're resisting it, because twin flame connection means that they really have to look at their wounds. They have to take responsibility. They have to take accountability. This person refuses to take accountability. You never got an apology. And what they do is they, assume that everything's okay after a certain amount of time, and they don't care that they're ignoring you and making you feel as if there's something wrong with you, like you're inadequate or you're like not good enough or whatever it is. It's just triggering your abandonment issues, where spirit is saying, it's like, no, this is definitely a soul connection, and there is a lot of love there. However, there's also a lot of ego. There just is. The traumas are still there. I feel you pulling away, and it triggers my fears that you'll leave me for good. So this person knows, like, again, you're intolerant to it. You're like, I'm over your BS. It's like, I'm tired of your energy holding on to me and not really giving anything. I'm tired of you never giving anything. I'm tired of you assuming that I'm someone that I'm not. And so you think that it's okay to treat me this way. I'm tired of this, whatever this lack of intimacy is, this lack of trust, because you refuse to give me the basics of a relationship, which is to make me feel safe, which is to show me trust, to show me respect, you have a problem with that. It's like, no, they have to elevate themselves. So it's, again, this person feels like you're pulling away from them. So they're going through an awakening. But it's, again, they know that, that you're one, but they don't know whether or not fear is going to get in the way. And they don't know whether they're going to do it or you're going to do it. But there's a good chance that this person, this is how this person feels. There's a good chance. And I feel you feel this way too. And it's probably because this is spirit saying we don't know what's going to happen in this situation because it's not coming out. Everything is like trust yourself. Don't like it like that. Yes, we are. There is a soul connection. We are one. Our hearts are connection. However, there's too much fear. There's too much. There's too much ego involved, and because there is, it's like unless you make this person feel safe or vice versa, the relationship is not going to go anywhere. Someone has to be transparent. Somebody has to be vulnerable. And I feel like how you see it is it's this person's job to do that because they never did it. I came in and I did it, and they enjoyed the fact that I did it, but then they wanted me to give them more and shower them with it and never give me anything in return for it. And I got tired of it because I wasn't giving enough. So then they talk to other people and create the triangle or triangulation and just, not give me the time, rather waste time with insignificant people or not with anyone at all than actually give to me. And so obviously you felt like you were punished. You were being punished. Like this person wanted to control, and you're like, well, I don't want to be in a relationship where you're controlling, but you're controlling where you're not generous. Your heart's not open. You're not giving. You have that wall that sometimes you let that so you go deeper into me, and you can feel your heart opening. You say that, but that's probably only during when we're getting intimate, like physically intimate, or like other ways, because that's what you feel comfortable with. But you're not making me feel comfortable again. So I want to let my guard down with you, but fear makes me lash out in self-defense. So, like I said, this person has a lot of healing to do, and that's what we see. So it's not like they don't have feelings, but we see all through this friggin' reading is the what? That they need healing. I want to talk to you, but I can't talk to you. Don't let fear get in the way of this truth. Because of you, like, yeah, you are a good person. You are a good person, but maybe you don't want to be with me. And like this person already has created a self-fulfilling prophecy that you're not going to stay with them. So they're like, I can feel you pulling away. Yeah, because they're not giving you what you need, and they know what you need. They refuse to give it. And that's because of their own insecurity. So they would rather, be like, ignore. But really, it's like they're controlling it because they're like, I don't want that. But in that, you're still connected. It's still a soul connection. That's why this person's like higher self is guiding them. But their ego is what's running the show right now. And remember, person needs to surrender the ego for them to really, really know that they love you. Otherwise, it's lust. And that this person is fighting it. So it's not that there's not a connection, but they choose to stay in a lower vibration. I only say this, repeat this, because a lot of times people say, how did I not see it? It's like you wouldn't see it because a soul connection, there is love. This person doesn't know that they're going to sabotage the connection. A lot of times they're unaware, they're asleep. That's why the awakening happens. So this person's awakening to who you are, says it, but they're not letting anybody know. Wait a minute, I know who you are, but I can't like really say that because that gives you too much power. So again, they're in their ego. And that's why, again, Spirit says, well, I'm still going to make you show up in their dreams subconsciously because, again, you're imprinted on a subconscious mind from many, many past lifetimes. In actuality, we incarnate with our spiritual wounds within the third chakra because that third chakra, the sacral chakra, that's the only bone that doesn't just like disintegrate. Like, how every single bone will eventually turn to ash. Well, that bone never does. It's like it's the only bone. And they said in ancient Egypt that we carry our wounds in our lifetimes within the second chakra. That's why that chakra is so important. Your individuality, your passion, who you perceive that you are. It's like, and you wouldn't be able to heal the deepest of wounds without like a soul connection. You just wouldn't be able to. But it doesn't mean it's an easy connection. It's one that it depends on how you play the game. It's like I've been learning about twin flames and it feels right to me. So again, this person may be asking about soulmates. I don't think that they really ever believed in that before. But like, yeah, like it's passion, but it's like that lasts for about 2 months, and yeah, then after a while, you're not really as desirable. Well, if you're only going to bed with the person and that's the extent of your relationship, well, that's going to fade out because it's lust. It's not passion for life. The person, there's no emotional connection. Without the emotional connection, it's a surface connection. This person can do that. They can't do the surface connection with you, which is why you don't get anything and why these insignificant relationships get something, because it's like, well, with you, you'd make me step it up. That again, I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm awakening to who I am, to who you are to me. But I don't know if I'm ready to do that. I don't know if I want to do that. So again, the universe is saying, well, in this lifetime, buddy or Missy, you have an opportunity to step it up. Are you going to do it or aren't you? And so the universe is going to give a certain amount of time, but then eventually, if they don't do anything, they get replaced. That's just the way that it goes. Where this is, the spirit says, oh no, they're not going anywhere, because it says here, we have a past life connection. So memories are surfacing either consciously or subconsciously. So again, it brought in past life karma, which is spirit saying that you've been connected for a few lifetimes, and there's a few lessons that still have not been learned, because we both grew up in families that taught those spiritual lessons of, love is conditional, where real love is not conditional. And you were taught that you were inadequate, that there was something wrong with you, again, because you were raised by angry parents, and really, I don't make garbage. There's nothing wrong with you. Again, maybe the experience. So you didn't learn on a spiritual level. So those experiences stagnated you. So Spirit's saying, so we bring you back in this lifetime, as I mentioned earlier, to do the same thing, to learn the lessons that were not learned, which is abandonment. Spirit says, you should never feel this. And you're like, what, that people don't leave? People leave. And Spirit says, you feel that worse when you abandon yourself. See, if you don't abandon yourself and you're on your path, your life begins, the universe conspires to move you. You're not moving you. The universe is moving you by bringing you people, situations, experiences that help you create yourself. And whether that you're going to school for something, whether that's your training to be whatever it is that you're training to be, is going to bring you the resources. And through that is where you meet your tribe. It's through you meet your friends. It's through you meet your support. And then when you're that way, you feel comfortable to actually find yourself, to create yourself with the right type of support. So Spirit will bring back that wound, but will make you deal with that situation completely different, so you can see a different outcome of yourself, is what Spirit's saying. So again, sometimes the soulmate relationship, like twin flame relationship, it takes a lifetime, it can take a long time, it can take 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. It's just this tumultuous type relationship where I feel like this person might not know the difference between twin flame or soulmate. They just know that there's a lot of passion, that they can't turn it on or turn it off. It's very much like when you meet someone and you're like, I thought that they were my person, but they were karmic. It's like, because They have something to show you, teach you. Our love will manifest through the union of heart and mind. So it's again the more of that twin flamey energy. It's again ESP through the heart and mind. So what Spirit's saying is like you're getting that because you need to expand those areas, because both parties were not taught that love was unconditional. They were taught love is conditional. Love, if you don't do what the person wants, that there is no love. And guess what? Too many times, whatever you tried to do wasn't good enough. That parent still did not give you emotionally what you needed. So it was seen as abandonment. Like, I'm giving, but I'm not giving anything back because it's not seen as good enough. And that parent is angry because their life isn't working, and that child absorbs it. And the perceptions, it doesn't even mean that it was meant. This is another ego card. Yeah, another ego card. It's like my ego is fragile to criticism and rejection. I've created walls to protect myself. And that's what I told you. That's what you're dealing with this person. So the universe is going to continue to work on this person for a little while. But, eventually, if they don't step it up, they will be replaced. It's just how the universe works. And that might not be tomorrow. So let's see. What does the universe want you to look at before spiritually we'll look at this inner child wound cards? Because right now, this person's not doing anything. We pulled too many ego cards. Too many. This is the second or third ego card. And so again, in order for this person to actually heal, they have to access all these past life memories. So there's going to be deja vu. But it's a slow process, because they're not spiritual. They just know that this connection is spiritual, and they don't know how they know that. They just know, which makes sense, because when it's a spiritual connection, it's ESP through the heart and mind, which means claircognizance. I don't know how I know that. I just know. So this person does have a knowing, but they don't know about themselves. But Spirit says they wouldn't be focused on themselves. Spirit has to utilize you so that they get caught up in you, so that their ego gets triggered by you, so that they actually become humbled eventually, because you're holding to a certain standard. And then this person will be like ready. But right now, all we see is ego, 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 ego. And Spirit saying it's all about you again, needing to cleanse your area, like it's about spending time with yourself. Like Spirit saying, if you're connected to this person, it's mirroring an energy of a past life trauma, and you had other people in your life teach you this lesson, or try to teach you this lesson, and you haven't learned it. So Spirit's saying you need to create a sacred space and meditate every day, and about cleansing your energy. And part of cleansing your energy is not thinking about this person. Not because, again, you're ruminating because this person makes you angry. But that's going to bring down your energy. So you have to create the sacred space, because whether this person's in your life or out of your life, you want to manifest a happy life. That's number one. Number two, you don't 100% know what you want. When you spend time with yourself, you get a better idea of the type of life that you want to create for yourself. You get to know yourself better. So the choices that you make for yourself are better. And so Spirit's saying it's like taking that time. Because if you weren't allowed to create yourself in childhood, again, that would affect that second chakra. Well, it's again, you're trying to emulate someone else, and then it's almost like you're always trying to wear someone else's shoes. They never fit right. Where you have to get your own shoes, create your own shoes. Then you can tap dance in them, and you can play soccer in them, and you can feel, because you feel comfortable. It'll be authentic. It'll be true. And that's what the energy you need to be in order to manifest something of a high vibration. And it's all about helping you transform. That's what this spiritual energy was about. Spirit saying that's what it was about. It's Like right now, it's all about you manifesting. But in order to manifest, you have to clear and transmute those blocks that keep you separate from unconditional love. And so Spirit says, and you were the main person that was in the way of stopping yourself. So paying attention to, again, what you're attracting, to see what your wounds are. And what we see here is, again, that the person really didn't give it the time. But we have to see why you would attract that person now into your life. And we're going to pull 6 inner child wound cards. And the first one is self-love. That's a no-brainer. Spirit saying it's like you attracted that because of the comfortable energy that you were brought up with. It's like, and in order to break that karma, you have to spend the time with yourself, give yourself self-love, and that's by finding yourself. What interests you? What stirs up your soul? Where do you lose your time, your energy, your focusing, your money? What just inspires you? What again stirs up your soul? That's where the answer is. That's what you got to feed. When you feed it, it begins to grow and it gets a life of its own. And until then, we have no balance. It's like because we're trying to figure it out from our ego, from that limited perception where it's all about me. It's all about what I want. But it's not what's best for everyone involved, and it's not of the highest vibration. And so Spirit's saying again, self-love, through finding the wonders of the world, the wonders within inside of you. What stirs up your soul? What are you passionate about? It's like if you grew up in a place of survival, you have tunnel vision. Life was safe. It's like, we grew up here and we died in the same town, and, and all we knew were these 4 corners, and, and we grew up with the same people and we died with the same people. Everything's the same. And then there's, life isn't exciting. It's not passionate. It's predictable, but it's not passionate. And predictable not all the time in a good way. When people know you too much, they get too comfortable. They don't value you. So if you're around that all the time, then you're not valuing you. So again, neglect. So all this saying is like Spirit saying, you were neglected. So this is again about giving yourself self-love. And that could have been by friendship, like you said, having a friend betray you, or just feeling like you need a friend. Like you want that emotional connection. You want that transparency where it's like you weren't getting that. So you weren't feeding your soul. And when you're not getting what you need emotionally, you don't really want to go out into the world and discover what's out there. You feel like there's a need to still work on the relationship, and Spirit saying, no, it's about taking the love that you're giving this person and the compassion and the niceness and the, and all the things that this person should really be doing for you. Do it for yourself. You can be a friend to them, where that means you find your balance. So would you do that for Mary Jane? Mary Jane, the lady that lives downstairs from you that is on the phone 12 times. If she could, she stops you, she chews your ear off, and you're like, oh God, it's like, I just need to get to the laundry room and I hope I don't see Mary Jane. Would you do that? No. It's like, because my time is precious. And it's like, so when we value our time, it's like with people that we do like, and you value your time without this person being a part of that, you're teaching boundaries, you're teaching respect. And then this person is also paying attention to how other people are treating you and see that they're treating you nice, and they don't want to look like a jerk. And they would look like a jerk by not giving you anything, by neglecting you, by emotionally not giving you anything. The Spirit is, again, all these cards are the same thing. Go out and play. Go out and play. Go find yourself. Recreate yourself. It's, again, Go out and do what stirs up your soul, what you're passionate about, what you have wondered about. Give yourself the self-love. That's how you're going to heal neglect. That's how you're going to heal neglect. You can be a friend then. It just doesn't have to be all or nothing. It'd be like, I want you in my life, but you didn't earn your spot in my life. So if you want to be in my life, you have to do X, Y, Z. Like you would have to prove it. You'd have to earn your space. Self-sabotage, where it's again being brought up in an environment where you're made to feel like you're not loved a lot, is you wind up forming a lot of behaviorisms that are in alignment with that. So you become other people's doormats. You can become the martyr. You can become so self-sacrificing that you don't do what you want to do. There's a sense that you don't believe that you're deserving of it. You believe that other people will be mad at it. And it's not because that wasn't experienced in the past, but the self-sabotage is giving too much energy to people that don't deserve it. So Spirit says you can be in this relationship, but you'd have to be in the relationship, meaning present, setting boundaries. And we see a lot of things that would need to be integrated, but who is integrating them? You, by stepping into the best version of yourself. So yeah, maybe this person can play with you by going out and experiencing new experiences that take you on to new adventures that will build that intimacy and that trust, because you're sharing experiences and memories. And the trust is something that happens over time. So you can then again heal neglect of healing like somebody else, seeing how somebody else is treating you by not neglecting yourself, by giving yourself self-love through again doing what stirs up your soul and the passion of your life, right? Again, the wonder, what stirs up my soul, the wonders in I always look at this like the wonders, not just what's out there, but the wonders that are within inside of me. Who am I? Like there's a whole life that's going on internally. And then guess what? Simultaneously, there's one that's actually being manifested outside because of it. So it's again to even just take time to wonder about it, and then wonder about what is gonna stir up your soul, inspire you. What type of life do you want to create? Because it's transformation time, Spirit says. It's like, oh, we can't keep that energy the same way. We're tired of this. Didn't we start this reading off by saying you are intolerant of the jealousy, of the low vibe energy? Well, the only way that that's going to heal is you got to transform that energy. And that's by, again, maybe becoming your own friend, meeting new friends, and being a friend to this person, but in its right perception, meaning that your life is full and rich, and you're in love in life. You're having a love affair in your own life, and everybody that's in your life that you're connected to is feeding you on an emotional level. And that might mean I go to dance, I'm taking painting lessons, I joined the book club, I like to dine at this restaurant, I like to go to this place, and all these things and what feed me emotionally. Then you're going to look whatever this person does. If they don't do enough, you're going to be like, you don't even know how to do it for yourself. So of course you don't know what I want, because you don't know the standard. It's like, look how you're treating yourself. You treat yourself like crap. It's like, I don't treat myself like crap. And this person said, I know you don't treat yourself like crap. I've been watching you the whole time. I actually see what's important in my life because I've been watching you, how you live your life. So you're inspiring me. You're showing me you didn't put up with me. You're not putting up with me. You're not changing. You're not making it easier. And guess what? I like you even more. But it doesn't really logically make sense. I don't really like this idea. You see, I like you, but I don't like this idea, because now you have too much power. It's like, and it's making me have to dive deep within inside of myself. What does this all mean? So again, this is how this person self-sabotages the connection, where Spirit's saying, this isn't for you to get caught up in that they're making the connection into a dumpster fire. It's about you saying, you're not capable of giving me what I need, but you showed me that I must have not been giving me what I need. So, and that I need to go out and find what that is. because that's going to lead me to my soul's path. That's going to lead me to being able to create a whole new way. I need to, nope, that was 6. I need to create a whole new way for myself because this is played out. Too much of the old experiences, that are still imprinted. So like I'm getting the same type of energy and I'm not that person. And I'm tired of getting that same experience. And Spirit says, then you got to do something different because it's not just about integration. Integration is, oh, I see how I contributed. I see what I did. But what about the transmutation part? Spirit says, oh, that energy's still there. You're still like a magnet to it. What are you going to do with that fire energy? Because you're like, fire energy. Yeah, Spirit says, yeah, that person made you mad. It's like that person again, like that's negative energy. That energy is creative energy. If you got to utilize it in a way though, you need to ground it, and it hasn't been. So, and we know that because it's like, why did we, form a connection with somebody that wasn't giving us, like to begin with? Why did that? And Spirit says, because I'm having a conversation with you. I'm telling you what you're not doing through the fact of how this person's treating you, to help you become aware that you're actually neglecting yourself now. You got to reparent yourself. And that's by giving yourself self-love. And that's really, believe it or not, by going out and playing, finding yourself, like rewriting those old scripts. And that's by doing new things and experiencing new things, because then you create new neurological pathways in the mind that will allow you to imagine like better life experiences. It's easy to keep manifesting like bad experiences when they've happened. It's hard to experience like positive ones if you're like, say, I've never felt that. That's never happened. This is what's happened for me. Maybe other people. And Spirit says, because you keep doing the same thing. It's like, believe me, there's a lot of different realities that play it at one time. If it looks broken and you look broken, it's wrong. It's like, you wouldn't put your pants on like a shirt, would you? And say, oh, it's wrong. See, this shirt is like, it doesn't work. Spirit says it doesn't go like that. Do something different. It's like, and I promise you, you'll get to see yourself different. And that is what forces this person to change. That's what forces, this is what, when this person says, oh, this person's really not playing around. And it's like, no, you're not. Because it's like, I'm over it, but you don't want to believe it because your ego wouldn't allow it. You created walls. So you wanted to see what you wanted to see. And of course, you didn't take the time to get to know me. So you wouldn't be able to read anything. You're in your ego, not your heart, not your intuition. So that's your karma. And Spirit leaves us off with, it's all about being on the path back to light. Because again, you are light. You're born of light. That is your energy. You're the energy of the universe. You got the stars and the moon inside of you. You are the universe. And that universe is ubiquitous. And that universe is the energy of unconditional love. And that energy is of God. That's the energy of spirit that's inside of us. It's also known as prana, chi, prana, chi, Holy Spirit. That's what gives us our spiritual sovereignty. So when we have a block, it's again, we have that limited perception, and that's what this person was trying to create, which was triggering your wound, which they expected you to react a certain way. You didn't react that way. So again, that leaves this person like looking at being stuck holding the karmic bag, because it's like, hey, well, now you look like an ass because you acted like you didn't care and you played all these games. And if you want to come back, you're the one that's going to have to surrender your ego. And that's why this person's fighting with their ego, because their ego is like, I don't want to have to do this. Like, you should just come back, or you should just, it's like where you're like, no, I'm intolerant to your bullshit because you did a lot of bullshit. You did a lot. So I will not give you even a morsel. I wouldn't even give you a breadcrumb. I like it. You're gonna do it all, or I'm out. And Spirit says, yeah, because you're on the path to light. And so, but even though you are light, remember that. So you're evolving back into the highest state of consciousness. And you're doing that by making the conscious choice to move forward, the light one step at a time, that to transform your weaknesses into strengths. This person would be a weakness by mastering your thoughts. And Spirit says, you're manifesting this person. That's how this reading started. They're trying to manifest you back, but they're not really paying attention to the fact that they wouldn't be manifesting something that they don't like. They're in their imagination of what it could have been. So again, overcome obstacles with positivity and acceptance. I develop my gifts and extend my light to every being unconditionally. And that's again through the soul's path of becoming of love, by giving and receiving of love, by doing what you love, by developing your gifts, by finding your gifts. That's what Spirit says. Again, you need to go out and play. You need to go out and discover the wonders within you, the wonders of your talents, your goals. This is like what we said, and go out and into the world and see what really like inspires you. You don't even know, because you wouldn't know if you were brought up in an environment that, you know, the parents thought that they were doing a good job, but they were really like affecting that second chakra, which is your individual, how you perceive yourself. The parent might say, oh no, you can't take that acting lesson, or that person never liked you, or maybe if your teeth weren't so buck, or that haircut that you got, always the digging to make you feel inadequate. It's again that there's some sort of trauma that needs to be integrated, and that's again being on the path to light is knowing that you're of love, and that you're on the path to again understanding what unconditional love is, including that parent that would say that to you. You can love that parent, but you have to be able to see them from a balanced perception. And that will only happen when you step into your path and you're again becoming that energy of unconditional love. Then you can see this person from, again, a different perception, which is, well, you just didn't learn. Like you're ignorant. And ignorance is a spiritual disease. It's the most devastating because most people wouldn't choose to be ignorant. It's just, I never knew. I wasn't educated. I didn't know. That's this person. That's why you inspire them to, again, it triggers them to say, oh, this is what really is important in my life. This really is like a spiritual connection. Like they're like a stalker, like watching you on social media and trying to get like that connection. But these are all their wounds that they have a hard time giving you that emotional the emotional needs that you need. That's their inadequacy. It's not yours. It's triggering your inadequacy. That's why we see the mirror. And again, if this person would surrender their ego, if they could be in a good relationship, maybe it would be a twin flame. But right now it's not a twin flame relationship because there's two in their ego. And they're annoyed that they have to surrender it, which is normal part of the healing process, because hey, you're asking me to change and go into the unknown, and I've already been rejected. I formed these behaviorisms because I was rejected because of what happened. So now you're asking me to be vulnerable. I don't want to be vulnerable. It's like where this person won't have a choice because they're going to be confronted with lose this person or step it up, because you're not going to stay in this. And Spirit says, and for you, it doesn't matter what they do. It's like you stay on the path to be true to yourself. Don't abandon yourself, because eventually this person will follow suit. They'll eventually learn, and just trust in the universe. And the Spirit says, I got your back. Trust in your strengths. And again, let your guides move you. And again, everything on your path is placed there for your growth, including this person. And that's to teach you about yourself and to know that you don't really need anything outside of yourself emotionally, to give yourself that, and to also hold to a certain standard. And that's what this connection really it will give you the opportunity if you allow it. If you forgive and you allow it, this person will actually do it. But you're the one that taught them to do it. It's not like they love you so much that they figured it out. That no, that's doesn't happen. It's like you're the teacher. It's like, and you love them that much that even though you don't want to teach them because you're like, well, like I shouldn't have to teach this because I've never gotten this. So if anything in my book, I should actually have this. Spirit says you actually have to do it because you never got it because you're expecting to get it. So it's like, I'm not going to give it because you think you need it. You don't need it. If you need it, that's a problem. If you want it and desire it, that's different. But you won't desire it until you actually know whether or not do you need it or do you desire it? You don't know until you actually do it. And once you do it, you say, I don't really need you to do it. So you got to hold to a certain standard. It's like, because I don't really need you to give me that emotional, whatever those breadcrumbs are. I need you to come and correct. And that's what you're holding to. Because again, if you're in your energy of love, passion, joy, I'm playing, I'm not paying attention to you because I'm connected emotionally in so many other areas. So I psychically cut my energy off from you. That's why this person feels you pulling away from them because you're like, well, shit, there's nothing going on here. I might as well go over here. And Spirit says, oh, thank God. Thank God you made it a different way. Otherwise, you're just going to start self-sabotage because you already know that this person's not going to change and they just sabotage it themselves. You know, that's their thing. But this is about you. Will this person ever get it together? The person always has the capability to. I mean, that's why this feels like a soulmate twin flame relationship because it's like, oh, it's undesired. Are you going to do it or aren't you going to do it? This person needs to like fix some of their karma first. They feel like they have burdens to do. Not uncommon. Like when a person changes their life, you know, well, a lot of like their old ways come back to rear their ugly head, almost like they have to like clean that up. And they would have, it's again, if they feel like you would trust them again. But I feel like there's a part of this person, and again, if you forgive them, they don't know. They don't know because it's all going to be in your hands. And I think you don't know. You're like, I don't know until I like actually see. But I'm going to tell you one thing, I don't want any burdens. And if I don't trust you, I'll never be able to forgive you again. I just won't be able to. And because I'm not going to be in a relationship that just stresses me out all the time. Like it's like because that's what it would be. So I feel like you try not to think about it and you pour yourself into work and you're going to get recognition for work. You're going to get like a raise or there's going to be something positive that manifests because of it, because you're channeling that. Again, pain into power is like, and you're not telling this person's watching you through your action. So the same way this person psychically tried to get you to chase after them and worry and find them desirable, well, psychically, what you're showing them is, my life is grande. I have a lot of different options. My life is big, and I will leave you behind. But I'm not going to say anything, but you already know it. And this person is hearing you loud and clear. So when you have that ESP connection, which again, this person says that they do, came out in the reading, well, they believe me, they know what you're going to do. They know what you feel. It's again, and so the relationship just really needs to elevate because there's still a lot of passion again, but we see that dominance there. It's where it needs to be elevated to unconditional love. There's passion, there's connection, There's all the ingredients, but they need to surrender their ego, and that's where they are. And Spirit says they'll eventually get there, but it's more, and we don't know what it's going to depend on you, and if you could forgive them. And I feel like some of you, like, I don't know if I can. And so Spirit says you will be able to if you elevate. If you elevate and you throw yourself into your passions and your hobbies, and a whole other, like, life opens up, and that whole other life could be just another job opportunity, it could be new friends that teach you about something, then you've done for yourself. So you can say, well, again, this person may not know how to give me in that way. I don't need you to give it to me in that way, but you learn what this person's love language is. I feel like that's what a lot of times love languages are different, but what we know is that this person just is emotionally handicapped. But Spirit's saying, well, you're not really that much better. You're not comfortable. You might be comfortable when it comes to speaking to your friends, but you have all the same wounds there. It's like, and so you're not going to be transparent. You're like, unless you tell me, unless you make me feel, so you're kind of doing the same thing that this person's doing. And that's why Spirit says you have the same shit. It's like, yeah, maybe theirs looks a little bit more worse because they're not, yours is a little bit more softer, and your logic and say, well, the reason why is because where this person is very like, that needs to be my way or the highway. But Spirit says it's the same wound, no matter how you dress it up or take it down. It's like, you want the person to change, you got to change. It's just that simple. I'm going to leave that there, Scorpio. Let me read to, hey, Diane. Hey, Kim from New Mexico. And handmade with love. Oh, I love that. Hello, Laura. Happy 2025 to you too. Well, yeah, resonate with this time as I have shifted as I heal. Still lots of love, but now the space for more healing. That's got to be what it is. And let's say those soul relationships, they last years. Years. It's like Spirit says that we live many lifetimes. We don't live one lifetime. We live many lifetimes because you would never learn you're not separate from God, unconditional love in one lifetime. Like, look how we get stuck with one fight with a person. Think about it. It's like you could be mad with a person for years, but still be connected to them and still love them, but still be like, where like everybody tends to create an ego, but when there really is love there, it's like you have two people that love each other, but they're in a Mexican standstill. They're like, no one's doing anything. Everyone's like, I'm waiting for you. You need to make the first move, and no one makes the first move. Because like this person's like, well, I don't want to show that I care too much, and then you're like, well, I'm not going to show that I care too much, So there's a lot of that going on right now, which just shows that both parties were not able to be vulnerable, and possibly weren't forgiven growing up. So again, growing back to those childhood wounds doesn't mean that we're going back with our parents. It means we're going back with the person that we love, a person that symbolizes that unconditional love, and they love us. It doesn't mean that they don't get frustrated with us or that we don't get frustrated with them. We're frustrated most of the relationship. Let's get that clear. Because there's a sense of wanting to control, which Spirit says, again, the dominance. It's, again, unconditional love is what you're both being taught. And remember, the way that you both were taught what unconditional love looked like between your family and other relationships that you dated, well, that's not what unconditional love is. So it's like, I'm going to show you what it looks like through this person. And that person, you're going to say, I don't like that person. That person annoys me. They trigger me. They're not even my type. I usually like this person, and they don't dress this way, but then they're still like, well, what are they doing? Like they're still like, I can't help but to, where spirit says, you can't control it. It's like you can't break it. You can't manipulate it. That's why those karmic connections are tough, because there is unconditional love there and you can't break the connection. You can only integrate it. You can only rise higher. Like Martin Luther King said, you can't cast out dark energy with dark energy. It has to be with love. And so you're not going to sit there and love that person, but you're going to love yourself to a point that you know how to be in alignment with the universe fully and embody those energies, so that you're like, when a person approaches you the way that this person does, you see it and you don't feed it. And you might again say something in your direct way, because this person wouldn't have learned anything unless you, like, the universe didn't make a mistake by bringing you into their life being so direct, because this person would, unless you spell it out for them, they wouldn't get it. So you have to be that way. And that's why you're like, I didn't do anything except for what I needed to do. But why do I feel bad? And spirit says, because you didn't get the outcome that you wanted, because this person's still fighting their ego. So you put the energy into yourself. So it's again, everything, it's all about putting it back to yourself. We guarantee that once you do that for a long period of time, this person will come looking for you, because it's like they're going to be like, I can't feel your energy anymore. ESP through the heart and mind. You're not thinking of me. No, because you haven't given anything. So my thoughts go to my new passions, and that can be other people. So a lot of times it isn't, but let that person think that it is. It's again, they need to earn it to see whether who's in your life, who's stirring up your soul, what's going on in your life, because it means that their heart is closed. All right. Now I really mean it. I'm going to take off. Happy New Year again, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.